Hey guys, Manic here with Manic Conspiracies, and today we're going to be talking about Egyptian history and the different pictures they kind of left us that make us wonder how they lived and what went on back in those days. So we're going to be talking about human hybrids, extraterrestrial beings, giant humans, advanced technology, elongated skulls. So the first one we're going to be talking about are human hybrids. And I don't necessarily think that they could be human hybrids. I personally think they could be masks or costumes. Also, I think it could be partly metaphorical, in a sense that they were kind of like talking about the different humans, because in the pictures you see things like animal masks on humans. Up here we have a dog. Down here it looks like maybe a rabbit. Birds. This one's a snake in the corner. So I personally don't know. I mean, there could have been human hybrids. We don't really know. I mean, the mind is so vast that we can think about a million different things. And people kind of like tell us like that you wouldn't believe the craziest things happen in the world. And you wouldn't. And you wouldn't believe what could have happened back then and what could have been life back then. But there's a couple different ones on here that are interesting. This one down here reminds me of like a mermaid or some sort of sea creature that we don't see every day. Probably maybe extinct by now, but that's kind of interesting to me. So the next one we're going to be talking about are extraterrestrial. There were lots of pictures describing extraterrestrial life, maybe a future vision of the Egyptians seeing life in the future, saying, we're going to be searching for aliens, we're going to connect with aliens, the extraterrestrial life that's out there somewhere in our vast universe. Now this picture is interesting, the astronauts. So that to me sounds like they were either visited by extraterrestrials and they told them of the future. Because we know that extraterrestrial life are so advanced technologically, they're so advanced intellectually, so I feel like they might have had contact with extraterrestrial life and they told them of the future, and they told them of astronauts, and they told them of human life going to search for aliens on different planets and in the universe. So that's really interesting to me. The third thing we're going to talk about is the giants, okay? So giant women in ancient Egypt, 5 to 6 meter tall giant kings in ancient Egypt, and servants size under the giant people. So this could be that there might have been giant people, or the fact that it says 5 to 6 meter tall giant kings in ancient Egypt, that makes me think it could be a metaphor for maybe saying that the kings were above everybody else. They were bigger, they were better than everybody else. But then you have these mummy tombs, and it begs the question, were there tall giants in Egypt? Man, it would be so awesome to just go, in a time machine back to Egypt just to see how they lived back then and see if, anything was true in those pictures. Because, I mean, look at these. These are tombs, People are supposed to... Statues, tombs. These are, pictures that they made. And who knows, maybe they were aliens. How do we know that some of the beginning people that civilized on Earth weren't just extraterrestrial life coming over here from a different planet. How do we know that? We don't. You know, but lots of giant people. You know, in this one, you've got the elongated head as well. So there's just tons of giant people. Okay, so the technology is next. And we know that in Egyptian time, they didn't have the technology we do at all. So they almost predicted planes. Look at this one. Planes. Helicopter. I mean, wow. And over here, here's a UFO. Or some sort of maybe military. But I think UFO. You know? So that could also be proof of the extraterrestrials kind of telling them the future almost. Elongated skulls is next. So this is Farah Akhenaten. And this is Queen Nefertiti. And as you can see, both the heads are elongated. And I think there has been proof of people finding skulls in the past and in history of elongated. And it's not really far-fetched to think that maybe people did have elongated skulls back then. And this could also be proof of the extraterrestrials living in Egypt and living on Earth back in the old days because, again, you know, we don't know. We haven't met the extraterrestrial life yet that we know of. But, you know, some of these could possibly be hats, but I definitely think that they're elongated skulls. Because there has been proof in history of people finding elongated skulls. But it's so beautiful to me. I would love to go see this all in person. Beautiful. Just gorgeous. And it's so interesting, you know. So that was today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. What do you guys think about all these? I mean, we talked about a lot of different topics today, and I would like to get your input on, you know, what you guys think is with this. Do you believe it? Do you think that there's other reasons for these kind of pictures? Do you think it was metaphorical? Do you think that it actually existed the way that they depicted it? So as always, like and subscribe because I make videos all the time. And let me know down below in the comments what you guys think on this. I had a lot of fun researching this and looking at the pictures. And yeah, so let me know down in the comments. Peace out, guys.